What's going on today, guys? Massive Freeware here, and today we'll be doing a video that basically every other music production channel has already done, an obligated best free plugins video. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So there might be a bit of overlap with some other people's videos, mostly because there's only so many good free plugins out there. For all I know, someone's probably covered all of these plugins already. Sometimes people tell me to review free plugins, and I don't do that because there's no value in reviewing something that's free. You can go try it yourself, but when there's so many free plugins on the market like there are today, it's good to have someone to tell you which ones are actually good, because then you don't have to sift through all of them yourself. So I guess that could work both ways. These are not ranked in any particular order. All right, number one, we got Vital, the spectral warping wavetable synthesizer. You might even say this plugin is vital to producing. Laugh, damn it. It's an actual Serum competitor, except that it's free. So some of the differences between Serum and Vital: Serum has some weird filter options that Vital does not, and Vital has a more flexible oscillator and routing setup. Vital also has an additional oscillator. There's also an upgraded version of Vital as well too if you want more wavetables and presets. I do personally like the UI more of Vital than Serum. For some reason I find myself much more comfortable sound designing with Vital. It's like laying in a hammock versus laying on the ground. Maybe laying on the ground is a bit strong. It's not that bad. It's like laying on a slightly less good hammock. For me. Just for me. Not for you. I'm sure there's plenty of people that prefer Serum. That's not me though. No, even though I put Vital as number one, it's definitely one of my top recommendations as far as free synthesizers or plugins goes. Definitely prefer this over my stock synthesizers, the ones that come with your DAW. All right, number two. This one is actually about 40 plugins, so I mean, we can maybe tally this number up to like 60, right? Just kidding, obviously. But number two is Poop. Number two is the Kilohearts Essentials effects. Kilohearts are gods for giving away all these plugins for free. You might even say there are essentially too many plugins. All right, we've done it. We filled our quota for horrible jokes, guys. That's two horrible jokes. That's all we get. You don't want to see what happens if we go over that. There's quite a few effects in here that you won't find in your DAW. It's got a 3-band EQ. Don't need that. Bit crush, sure. Chorus, sure. Comb filter, compressor, sure. Delay, yeah, why not? Formant filter, okay. I like what you're doing here. Frequency shifter, no complaints here. I got that one in Ableton, but all right. Gain, okay. Well, don't really need that one. Ring mod, doesn't ring a bell. Is that one good? Can we let that one slide, guys? Okay. Yeah, that I just got word that one's fine. That horrible joke was fine. Like I said, quite a few you don't have in your stock DAW. And one of the things that's great about these plugins is that you can use them in Kilohearts Snap Heap. It's a modular snap-in host which allows you to build up to 7 stereo parallel effects chains that modulate every parameter using Kilohearts' powerful modular modulation system. I fear they haven't used the word modular or some variation enough in this sentence here. You can get pretty creative with this here. Okay, number three, we're gonna get a little bit more strange here. The Magical 8-Bit Plug 2. It's a very simple, low quality, but in a good way, video game type synthesizer. Old school video game, you know, like Super Mario, the Donkey Kong, square waves, triangles, stuff like that, but you know, a little more damaged sounding, like I said, in a good way. I don't know if I'd personally call this a synth just because it only has a few waveforms. It's very simple and it has almost no modulation, just the ability to like change the envelope, you know, like pitch rise and drop, vibrato, stuff like that. Just the typical stuff you might hear in these old video games. Anyways, it does what it's meant to do pretty well though, be low quality, but in a good way. Check out this quick little beat I made with this little Magic 8-bit piece of shit. OTT. All right, number four, OTT. Over-the-top compression is huge, especially in bass music. It could be huge in quite a few genres nowadays. Anything on the more compressed or distorted side, you're definitely gonna want some OTT. Heck, it's even pretty useful for making ad-libs stick out in a mix in any genre. It's also cool for crushing the living shit out of your sound. I definitely like the UI of this OTT better than the stock Ableton one. And sure, you could basically make OTT with any sort of multi-band compressor, but what's nice about this one is just that it's already set up for you, essentially. It's just going to save you a bit of time in terms of workflow. And sometimes it's not always about new features. It could also be about workflow and saving time. All right, number five, another somewhat strange one, Drop Designer. Quite a few of you guys are probably like, what the fuck is that? Why the fuck would you say that? So I actually found this one in an Ed Talenti video a while back. So to pay respects to him, I'm going to be smiling for the rest of this section here. Anyways, it's a contact library. I can't keep doing this. Anyways, the contact library helps you flip samples into drops using multi-effect chains. I feel like I'm just opening my eyes really wide right now. Do I look crazy? Because I feel fucking crazy. Now, this thing is definitely missing a few options. It's still not bad nonetheless. I wish you had the ability. I feel like a lunatic right now. I don't think Ed Talente really smiles like this while he's talking. It's just when he's playing music. Maybe I should just play some music real quick. It'd be nice if you had the ability to chop up the samples or warp it to the audio. Should I still be doing the smiling thing? According to the website, I think I'm done with the smiling thing. We're done with that, guys. According to the website, it requires the full version of Contact in order to run it. I'm not sure exactly why, but that's what it says. This one's definitely hit or miss for me. Most of the times I've used it, it's been pretty miss. There's one time where I flipped the absolutely living shit out of a sample that I made. So I feel like it, because of that, it's obligated to be on this list. Was that a fluke or is this thing good? I guess let me know, guys. I think it's alright. It could definitely be better though. Alright, number 6, TDR Nova. TDR Nova is a parallel dynamic equalizer. I know, that's a mouthful of words. They should put some OTT on that. At first glance, it looks like a parametric equalizer. Basically, you can do parametric EQ, dynamic EQ, frequency selective compression, multi-band compression, wideband compression. I know, I must be stroking out because I can't believe there's a competitor to FabFilter Pro Q3 that also does compression. Now, I'm definitely personally a bit more used to the Pro Q3 interface at this point. This one's a bit different, but it's still not bad at all. Now, if it's between this and a stock EQ, I'm going for this every single day. It just has a lot more features. Stock EQ in Ableton doesn't have dynamic EQ or sidechain EQ. Yeah, there's no sidechain EQ in Ableton stock EQ. I'm sure maybe there's some other DAWs that do have that. The only reasons I could think to use Pro Q3 over this one, other than the interface, would be the fact that it can do linear phase. Number 7, we're talking about Spitfire Labs. Is this a plugin? Is it a bunch of things? Whatever, we're gonna classify it as a single plugin. Okay, so Spitfire Labs allows you to download a bunch of free libraries from Spitfire. Apparently it's made by musicians for musicians, for anyone, anywhere. Good, because I don't know if I consider myself a musician. I was worried that this wouldn't be for me. They have quite a few different libraries, including Bell Swarm, Tape Piano, Tundra Atmos, I don't even know what that is, pipe organ, bass guitar, vintage drums, mandolin, strings.
2 hours later.
Ondes Musicalis, granular whale song. What is that? Go find out. Frozen strings, guitar harmonics, rare groove piano, cello moods. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It's actually impressive how many free libraries they have. I haven't tried all of them. Definitely like the percussion quite a bit, and some of the guitars, and some of the pianos. All right, next up at number 8, we got GClip. GClip, a good and simple clipper plugin. You might even say it's G. Sorry, sir, you're in trouble. You're over your horrible joke quota. We let that last one slide. We can't let this one slide. Fuck, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're coming in with me. No, not again. No. I like my clippers to be visual and simple. This one is really simple, and it has a little oversampling too if you want that. So yeah, this fits my extremely long checklist of what I'm looking for in a clipper. Now, I don't like this one as much as Knock in terms of sound, but it's good enough in my opinion. I do feel like the visuals of it could be a little more accurate though if they wanted them to be. Number 9, Valhalla Supermassive. It's a combination of reverb and delays, which is why it's supermassive. Don't say it. Don't say it. Supermassive like my... It has 18 different combinations of reverb and delay, as well as settings for individual parameters. It's definitely a bit different than your average reverb or delay, and yeah, somehow this thing is free. Alright, number 10, the Analog Obsession plugins. I'm gonna list a few here in a minute. Analog Obsession is a company that we must protect at all costs. I'll do my best. I don't really have any weapons though. Can maybe throw this at him if we need to. I got a really long cord here. Maybe that could do something. Yeah, some absolute legend spends his free time making emulations of analog hardware. The LA is an emulation of the LA2A. I can't give you an accurate comparison to how this sounds to the real thing. I have used an LA2A before when I went to college for audio engineering, but I haven't used it since then, and that's been quite a few years back now. That's not a joke. I did actually go to college for audio engineering. And Rare SC is an emulation of a Pultec EQ. I also like the SSQ, which is the emulation of the SSL EQ. The college I went to had a Neve board, and I mean, I've used SSL EQs a lot because I got one back here, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving it right now. I think that's the input or the pan knob or something. They have quite a few other plugins as well too, and those are the only ones I've really ever used. What other analog plugins do you guys like? Let me know down in the comments. At number 11, we have Fresh Air by Slate Digital. It's a great plugin for adding air to your sounds, as the name would imply. Only problem is it uses iLok though. Haters will say that it's just an EQ, but I'm a hater of the haters, and I'm here to say it features excitement, EQ, parallel compression, and even saturation all combined. I really like to use this on vocals to bring out the crispness. Alright, number 12, the Ozone Imager. It's a great starter imager with a good UI. It's not as good as the full version that you get with the actual Ozone. The full version has more bands to help you split your frequencies differently or more precisely, whereas this one just helps you split the entire sound. You could actually do some sort of multi-band processing though to be able to split them up differently still. The full version 10 gives you the ability to recover the sides as well too. What I really like about Ozone imagers are the visual aspects as well as the ability to stereoize something with delay. Alright, number 13, Convolution Easy. Kind of a convoluted name if you ask me. Melda Productions has a lot of great free plugins. Some of them are just demos and the other ones are entire full plugins. Some of their UIs can be kind of convoluted, ironically. A convolution reverb isn't too bad. I wouldn't really recommend the harmonizer to anyone though. That one's not free anyways. One of their most compelling free plugins to me is the Convolution Easy. Convolution reverbs use impulse responses from real or simulated spaces to give you a more realistic reverb. Another one of theirs that I think is pretty good if you don't have Autotune is Auto Pitch. I think you understand the reasons why. It's like Autotune. But don't let Rick Beato find out you're using it. Wait, he said Autotune's bad, right? So Auto Pitch must be fine. Alright, number 14, Delay. It has a lot of features that your stock delay plugin may not have, including 5 delay modes, duck, so the ability to have the delayed sound duck to the original sound, diffusion, modulation, some distortion, a randomized parameter option. It has some nice presets as well too. One thing that'd be nice to pair with a randomized function would be the ability to lock single knobs. Unfortunately, you can't. This is still a really good free plugin nonetheless though. Alright, number 15, Origin by Cymatics. Hey yo, Mr. White, we got the Origin plugin by the Cymatics. I don't think I need to cook meth anymore, Mr. White. That is me doing Jesse from Breaking Bad in a Boston or New York accent or something. I don't fucking know. I live in Hawaii. It's a vintage / LoFi plugin. One of the main knobs is a Drake underwater effect. Yeah, really sick. Really sick, Mr. White. It filters it while doing some bit reduction. It also features noise, tape saturation, movement, and chorus. It's kind of like a great value RC20, except it's free. And that's a great value, Mr. White. I think the most valuable part of this one is the fact you can switch it from vinyl to cassette, etc. Number 16, Voxingo Span. It's a free analyzer plugin. I don't think there's much else to say about that one. It's a free analyzer plugin. You can analyze your shit. Alright, number 17, the BBC Symphony. It doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. Featuring 33 instruments and 47 techniques. It has a bunch of strings, woodwind, and brass. It's extremely realistic sounding and better than quite a few Kontakt libraries. Number 18, Ample Guitars and Bass. So the full version of their plugins are not free, but the light versions are, and it just has some limited features. Definitely pretty decent sounding for free guitars. It comes out of the box acoustic and dry, but you can process it however you like. You can easily get a pretty distorted guitar sound as well, obviously. The light version only has finger picking, but the full version has 3 pick modes as well as strum. The free version has sustain, hammer on, and pull off, palm mute, etc. Number 19, Fire. Don't make a terrible joke. Don't make a terrible joke. Don't make a bad joke. Don't make a bad joke. It's a multi-band distortion plugin featuring quite a few different types of distortion, and obviously, like I said, multi-band, so you can separate it by the bands and process them individually how you'd like. It also has 4x oversampling, and it also features an EQ. It has an A and B mode in case you want to compare several different settings. Alright, number 20, the last one, the Synthmaster Player, the free version. A lot of free synthesizers, or romplers I guess in this case, don't have very good sounds. This one has pretty good sounds that you'll actually use. I remember I demoed it a while back and I was actually pretty surprised by how good it was. It's a limited version of their Synthmaster plugin. This one is a lot more useful for people that use presets. So if you want some pretty good sounds but don't care about having editing capabilities, this is a good one to get. Definitely a common theme with these sort of plugins is there's a free version and then there's the upgraded paid version as well too. Is it just a scheme to get you into their ecosystem? Probably, but if you're enjoying the free plugin or the paid plugin, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. So I purposely didn't mention Freakshow plugins because I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of feel like they're overrated. I mean, Backmask is kind of cool. Pocket Dimension is cool, but I honestly just find it completely unusable. It's like an effect plugin that just fucks shit up. They have a new one coming soon called Dick Smasher though. I'm a little bit excited about that one. All right guys, that's it for my list of great free plugins. Are there any plugins that I missed that you are massively hating on me for not including? Let me know down in the comments. These are just the ones that I liked and found useful personally. There's quite a few more that you could use because, you know, there's free plugins everywhere. Every day I open up my room and I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many free plugins in here. Steven! Clean this shit up. Anyways, I'm your host, Weaver Beats. Make sure to check out my second channel, my Discord, if you haven't, to join the community conversation. They paid me to say that. Check out my Twitter and Instagram for memes. I stream on Twitch once or twice a week as well too. Make sure to stop by. And I may do a stream pretty soon on YouTube. What kind of stream should I do here, guys? Should we just review music? I feel like that's pretty by the book. I only want to stream on YouTube if we do something entertaining or just useful to people. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Bang Incorporated.